Rehekōrero, tēnā koutou.
Kia ora.
The last time we saw you, you did the treaty kōrero.
Yes.
And that went completely viral. What's that like, doing something and having that huge reaction that people have to your mahi?
Well, honestly, we were really surprised. We didn't...
Really?
But we didn't want to get too in our heads about social media and the way people view us, so we would never really read the comments unless it was just, like, support. But I think it was just more humbling to know that there's so many of us out there that think the same things that we do.
Yeah. And Koromiko, the Matariki, obviously, Māori New Year, why do you think it's so important through your mahi and the mahi of Rehekōrero that we acknowledge and celebrate Matariki?
It's intertwined in our culture, you know, and I think growing up we always celebrated it, but ever since it sort of became an actual holiday in New Zealand, I think there's a bit more excitement around it every year, and everyone's more, I don't know, everyday people and like Pākehā people are all more into it. So I think it's really important to uphold this part of our culture, especially with Toitu Te Tiriti going on, and bringing that sort of into the Western space as well.
What would your main message be to the nation as they think about Matariki?
Well, I think there's a bit of a misconception with Matariki that it's like a big party like the Western New Year's, like to go get drunk and have a party, where I think Matariki is more so to rest and like look after your tinana and your whānau and just chill out.
So, Billy, aside from what Koromiko has already said, what are the main messages in the kōrero you have done for Matariki that you want people to hold on to and remember this year?
You know, at this time in the year, it's getting cold, people are getting sick, people are getting tired, it works a lot for everybody. And so just to take this time, it's the perfect time to get together with your friends and your whānau and just have a nice warm kai and just, you know, reminisce on the year that has passed, being grateful for all your blessings, remembering all of those who have passed, and looking forward to the new year.
Why slam poetry as a medium to talk about Matariki?
You know, slam poetry, spoken word, you know, it's like, unlike Manu Kōrero, unlike Manu Kōrero and other venues, you can express yourself in any way you want to, you know? There's no filter, there's a filter, but it's like, there's such a wide thing, and you just say whatever you want to say.
No, because there's a line in it where you say, where you all say, and if you don't know, now you know. Now, normally you use another word after that. That's from my era, by the way, so I really appreciate the 90s reference. But if you don't know, now you know, player. You can't get away with that in a Manu Kōrero. Or in a kapahaka, you know?
Yeah, so you can just add in small things like that. It's speeches, but fun, you know?
Do you find it surprising that it's inclusive? I mean, even old people like me love this. Is it a surprise?
I don't think it's a surprise at all, because I think spoken word poetry is so unique in that it sort of intertwines and interweaves like speeches with sort of theatrical aspects, which is so entertaining. And that's why I think it translates so well, because it's an entertaining way of showing political topics or like a really important kaupapa.
It is deeply political, eh? What you do. But I think actually, the better word is it's an activation. Right? It's activating communities through sometimes subtle, sometimes not so subtle messages. Nā reira, Rehekōrero? Rehekō? Tēnā koutou katoa.
Ngā mihi.
Kia ora.
Matariki, ngā mata o te ariki o tāwhiri mātea. The deity of wind and storm.
The only child against the separation of his parents.
He was a nightmare to his brothers.
His suck up to his mother.
So when their parents finally split, cracking the darkness apart,
Tāwhiri was left distraught.
he raged against the waters of his brother Tangaroa. Ruakina te pukuriri.
Destroying the forest of Tainui Mahuto.
He ripped out his own eyes,
crushed them into 1,000 stars and cast them into the night sky.
Creating Matariki, the tamariki who twinkle and shine, a cluster of 9 stars.
Now every generation takes this time to stare back up at Tāwhiri in the hopes of seeing them sparkle, the holders of knowledge for the upcoming year.
To give back to us, back to Papa Tuanuku. They were birthed from chaos and destruction, in our world made anew. Nowadays we spend Matariki reminiscing and rejuvenating our tinana.
Letting go of all of our personal little tāwhiris that sit at the back of our head.
With that hangi steaming and that boiler brewing.
The crisp morning air bites into our kiri, picking off the last few years into the toho.
We plant kākano for the thinning darkness to the rising of Tamanui Te Rā.
A hope for tomorrow and a karakia for the year.
That tāwhiri's pukana up in the sky will wax it.
Waiti and Waita, li tāne, hine, and everything in between across valleys of oceans, controlling our waters.
We see hiwa I te rangi in the pit of our stomachs.
Wishing and waiting for the hangi to be ready.
Tupua nuku and tupua rangi ploughing the whenua for our pukas to be filled with aroha and connection.
Cause in this whare, all the time is kai time.
Late nights into early mornings.
Kai cooker steaming at the crack of dawn.
Smoke fills the skies as we huddle around the top of the maunga, facing to what will be the horizon.
The stars peer back at us.
The Southern Cross guides our eyes.
While the kazis try and hide the smoke from their siggies amongst morning mist.
We see Matariki rise. We are reborn twice a year. The paradox between westernized views and Māori ideology. Celebrating the new year beneath skyscrapers built on buried pasts.
With leftover RTDs and bad club music.
Fireworks imitating the eyes of Tawhirimata.
Kuia gaze up at Pahutakawa, awaiting the time she is called back to the side of her partner, lost to the waves of time.
Hearing Pahutakawa in dreams.
Familiar voices guiding us back to Hawaii.
We hold hands in unity and poroporoaki our mate.
Loved ones passed on, newborns passed down.
Waipunarangi pours water into Papasakorowai, reminds us of how lucky we are to lure flowers in with tears.
Ururangi forecast the new year to come, howling the winds from the depths of Tikaroa.
Echoing between two universes in one world.
And finally, Matariki, the titular star herself.
Who rules over our haura.
A sign of good fortune and well-being. We see her shine in the faces of whānau.
Brighter than the fireworks show underneath the sky tower.
Matariki is interwoven with our ahure. He mihi tēnei ki ngā whetū e iwa. As you welcome in the new year, the year that starts in June, not January.
So if you don't know,
now you know.
Player.
That you should have a kai with your whānau.
Give your tinana a break.
Rest, reminisce, and rejuvenate.
Hara.
Now is the time to sleep in.
I'm not gonna rise and grind unless it's to have a feed.
Now is the time to be kind to yourself.
Now is the time to give yourself a break.
Give yourself grace and gratitude.
Looking after that inner child that's been in the background all year.
Matariki is a time to prepare for the year ahead and reminisce on the time that has passed.
So e te whānau.
Hai ho ho! Mā noatia mai ea te putanga o Matariki.